Welcome 2020-21 NSLI semifinalists and families. Congratulations on being named a semifinalist. We created this video to remind semifinalists of upcoming requirements and to answer questions that our staff frequently receives from semifinalists. Please watch the whole video with a parent or guardian. It won't take more than 15 minutes of your time. It's also wise to review the NSLI website and terms and conditions again now that you're a semifinalist. NSLI interviews are organized by NSLI partner organization AFS USA. AFS volunteers will contact you to arrange an interview. They will be emailing you at the primary address you provided in your application, so watch that email and be responsive to ensure that your interview can be scheduled. Your interview may take place at a large interview event or one-on-one at another location. If you live abroad, it's likely that your interview will be arranged by Skype or phone. In-person interviews are arranged to the extent possible. AFS is already working hard to schedule interviews and will continue to contact semifinalists for their interviews throughout December and January. Contact AFS if you are not contacted by January 20. Do not contact AFS before that date unless there is a change to your location or availability. As noted in your semifinalist notification, December is a good time to apply for a passport if you don't have one. If you are selected as a finalist, you'll need to be able to provide a copy of your passport as early as late February. Note that it will also be necessary to ensure that your passport has at least 6 months of validity beyond the NSLI expected program dates. Thus, this may require that you get a new passport if you have one that will expire in 2020 or early 2021. If you are selected to go to Russia, you will likely need 18 months of validity. Please visit the Department of State website for more details on how to apply for a passport. All semifinalists must submit a completed NSLI medical evaluation form to the semifinalist portal by February 20th. You should use the same login and password as you did for your NSLI application. However, please note that the semifinalist portal uses a different hyperlink than the application portal. To make sure you're in the right portal, please click on the link that was provided in your semifinalist notification email. The medical form requires a self-assessment, Part A. This portion should be completed by the semifinalist and legal guardians. Before submitting your form, be sure that you and your parents or guardians sign pages 8 and 9. So, you'll need to sign the form twice. The form also requires information from your family doctor, physician, or nurse practitioner in Part B. Note that the NSLI medical review has stipulations for physical exams. Summer semifinalists should have had a physical exam in the 6 months prior to when the form is completed, and 3 months for academic year semifinalists. It's important for NSLI to have up-to-date information. Please ensure that Part C, for mental health, is completed if applicable to your medical history. See the requirements on the form. Part D, for dental, is only required for academic year semifinalists. Use the checklist on page 5 to ensure you submit everything needed. Please carefully review the guidelines for the medical evaluation process. Our medical reviewers are indeed health professionals. They are nurse practitioners and physicians or medical doctors. While I won't review everything from the form now, here are a few general reminders. Non-disclosure of a medical condition or issue is grounds for termination if a scholarship is offered. Please provide up-to-date and accurate information so our staff can do our best to identify a safe placement. To comply with federal laws, medical forms are only evaluated after finalist decisions are made and notifications released. Medical evaluation and determining if a final placement is possible is made on a case-by-case basis. Again, please carefully review the guidelines to understand the process and expectations. Be aware that some medications are not legal in certain host countries. Do some research on this with your physician. Further, NSLI participants are generally expected to carry, manage, and properly store medications unless host country restrictions require otherwise. We are often asked about vaccinations. We are not doctors or medical professionals and cannot provide guidance. Please discuss with your physician and review the CDC's guidelines at www.cdc.gov/travel. We are required by law to inform you of our privacy practices for your medical information, just like your doctor's office probably does. Signing page 8 will acknowledge your understanding of NSLI program policies related to medical information. Signing page 9 will acknowledge your understanding of NSLI's HIPAA practices. Be sure to check the appropriate items under number 5 on page 9 if relevant for you. If these items are not checked, program staff may be limited in the support that can be provided to the participant while on program. Please carefully review the timeline on page 4. Note that you may be offered a scholarship in March and then be asked questions about your medical history in April or May, for example. It is possible that we may ask to speak with your physician or therapist if more information is needed for the medical evaluation process. NSLI may transfer your placement after the scholarship offer is made if a safe placement in the initial host country placement cannot be identified. While rare, it's also possible that NSLI cannot place a finalist safely in any location. Again, this is quite rare, but it is possible and again would take place after the initial notification is sent. We will be in touch with the finalists' parents and perhaps the physician or therapist to ask additional questions before such a decision would be made. The medical evaluation form is very important to prepare and allow for safe placements. Please be honest. We have been able to make placement arrangements and accommodations for many finalists over our history. But of course, we must be mindful of safety and accommodation needs. Ensure that you contact NSLI@americancouncils.org if your contact information has changed from the application. Review your application to ensure it is correct. As discussed on our website, finalist notifications take place on a rolling basis. Notifications are sent by email. Summer semifinalists will be notified of their status between early March to mid-April. Academic year semifinalists will be notified between late March to mid-April. All semifinalists will be notified of their status by April 23rd. We do our best to expedite the process each year, but with thousands of applicants, the process takes time and we must be fair. If selected as a finalist, you will receive a finalist acceptance form that you and your parents will sign, and a program description that includes program dates, program location, implementing organization for which you are assigned, and contact information, and general program details. Summer finalists have 7 days to respond with the acceptance form and copy of a passport. Academic year finalists will have 14 days. Finalists will receive information about pre-program preparation requirements soon after notification. These activities are required. Participants and families should expect to devote some time to such activities in the spring months. We cannot provide program dates to any semifinalists. Program dates are not finalized or approved until soon before notification by the Department of State. So, in short, they are not available now, and we will not be able to answer any questions if asked. We cannot consider your personal or academic or family schedule in the placement process. It's a good time to review the NSLI terms and conditions again with your parents. We can't review all of the requirements now, but we will highlight some that relate to common questions. Finalists may be required to submit their passport to the implementing organization in advance of the pre-departure orientation to obtain a visa. We can't determine which host countries will require this now, as these requirements are subject to change by the host country at any time. However, note that this may limit your international travel in the months before your planned program. For applicants of Chinese, Hindi, and Russian programs, please be aware that visa requirements for China, India, and Russia may require that all of your parents or legal guardians will need to also submit their valid passports or residency documentation as part of the visa application. Visa requirements for Russia may require that your passport be valid for 18 months after the anticipated end of your NSLI program, so please be mindful of that if you are applying for a Russian program. Finally, for Persian applicants, if you are selected as a finalist, you may be required to come to Washington, D.C. for a visa interview in May. If necessary, the scholarship will cover the cost of this extra travel. Visits from natural family or friends are not permitted during summer programs and highly discouraged during academic year programs. Academic year participants' families must discuss and obtain permission from implementing organizations in advance. This is typically not permitted until January at the earliest. All participants must travel in accordance with the travel arrangements and schedule made by the implementing organization to the pre-departure orientation location and round trip to the host country. For example, it is not permitted for a NSLI student to stay in the host country after the group returns home. Final acceptance of the NSLI scholarship is dependent on meeting medical, placement, academic, and visa requirements. Participants are expected to participate in all program activities. Participants should not expect to complete online coursework while on program. It is expected that students behave in a way that does not bring disrepute to NSLI, the Department of State, implementing organizations, etc. This includes online behavior both before the program and during it. This also includes acting in a way that shows respect to fellow program participants, host families, host schools or institutions, program staff, and others. There's a zero tolerance policy for drugs. Consumption and/or purchase of alcohol is prohibited. Participants are expected to comply with safety guidance provided from the Department of State and their implementing organizations. Participants are subject to U.S. and host country laws. Note that implementing organizations will likely also require an additional code of conduct that is in line with host country expectations and cultural norms. Now we would like to share some reminders on what the NSLI program is and is not. NSLI participants can expect an immersion experience allowing participants to act as cultural ambassadors and experience a new way of life through rigorous language instruction and coursework, cultural learning, and community service activities. Many overlook that NSLI is an intensive academic program focusing on language learning. This is not a program for students interested only in travel. There will be homework, assignments, and mandatory cultural events. Participants are expected to follow the responsibilities and rules and perform to the best of their abilities. Due to the program structure, we discourage participants from doing online coursework for homeschool requirements while abroad. NSLI also has a host family experience in some duration with host families. Host families receive orientations and materials to sensitize them to cultural differences and to prepare them for the hosting experience. NSLI participants should not expect to travel independently while on program. Students should expect a limited degree of independence, which may include independent free time and commute to school, although conditions may vary by location. If participants are 18 or turn 19 while on program, they should not expect to have more freedom than other NSLI students. Please refer to the Travel Policies section and the NSLI Terms and Conditions for more information. NSLI has dedicated staff who are available to students and natural parents 24/7 for emergencies, and to communicate in a timely, clear manner to students, natural parents, and NSLI partners. Routine questions that are not emergencies should be handled during regular business hours. NSLI does not provide an absolute guarantee of a participant's health or safety. While there is an inherent risk in study abroad, the safety and security of participants is of paramount concern to the NSLI program. Safety is the top consideration for selecting program locations, and program implementers regularly evaluate programs for safety. NSLI students are expected to indicate maturity in following safety protocols. NSLI is not an individualized program for which the participant or natural parents can customize the program schedule, location, coursework, or host family composition. Individual requests for host family composition, placement in the host community, and adjustments to dates or program locations will not be granted. The program does not allow for the same daily routine, lifestyle, diet, activities, and freedoms that students may experience in the U.S. NSLI programs are quite structured and focused on improving language proficiency and cultural immersion. Typical days are busy with commuting, language classes, tutoring, shared meals, cultural or community service activities, homework or projects, and shared time with the host family. NSLI is also not a program that employs staff who can provide instant responses to routine, non-emergency questions, even after business hours or on weekends, or provide individual care to a participant like a natural parent can at home. Please see the links for the official NSLI social media pages and Ask NSLI alumni. We know that many applicant and parent Facebook groups form independently. We don't monitor those groups, and frankly, a lot of misinformation or out-of-date information is shared in these groups. Be mindful of this and be sure to ask our staff if you have questions or concerns. Contact us if you have further questions. Thanks for taking the time to listen to the semifinalist video. We hope that it was helpful. Thank you for your continued interest in NSLI.